In this video we're going to talk about a summary of all the model number 1. Starting with some anatomical terms like what is anatomy? Anatomy is the science that studies body structures and the relationship among them, like on my body. Then the physiology is the science that studies the body functions, so how my body works, how it works. There are also some anatomical positions like the normal one, that is the person stands erect and facing the observer, right? There also are the prone position, that is when the body is laying face down, like this. There is also the supine position, that is when the body is facing up, well, that is some of the basic of some anatomical terms. Now our body is formed by 4 tissues. There are different types of tissues. The first one is kinetic tissue, epithelial tissue, muscle tissue, and nervous tissue. Epithelial tissue consists of tightly packed cells that form a continuous layer. The kinetic tissue is one of the most abundant and widely distributed tissues in the body. It gives us support and strengthens other body tissues, protects and insulates internal organs. Like here. The muscle tissue consists of elongated cells called muscle fibers that use ATP to generate force as a result of muscular tissue produced by movement, maintain postures, and generate heat, so will not dying of cold. It also provides a lot of protection, the muscles. Oh yes. And there are also other 3 types of muscle. That the first one is a skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle, and a smooth muscle. We're going to continue with the last one, but not less important. The nervous tissue consists of 2 cell types, neurons and neuroglia, and it present in the brain and spinal cord. The brain and the spinal cord, the one of my back. A neuron is a specialized cell that has 3 parts: a cell body, dendrites, and an axon. The cell body contains most of the cytoplasm and the nucleus of the neuron. Well, continue. Now we know that we have 4 different type of tissue. Also, our body have some feedback systems, but there are 2 types. Some ones are positive, but other ones are negative. The body can regulate its internal environment through feedback systems. This is what I'm talking about. A feedback system is a cycle of events in which the status of a body condition is monitored, evaluated, changed, remonitored, and re-evaluated, and so on. In a feedback system, the response of the system to the change in the control condition is either to negate the change, which is called negative feedback, or to enhance the change, which is called positive feedback. Well, we have different organs in our body, and the biggest and the largest one is this one. Our skin is the largest one and the biggest one. Well, but and it also have some parts, like this one is the epidermis, then inside is the dermis, and then more inside is a hypodermis. Well, and we also need to take care of them, because as an organ it's important to take care of it, because also it can be damaged. We can get a skin cancer that is very common. The skin cancer is the abnormal growth of skin cells that most often develops on a skin that is exposed to the sun, although it can also occur on areas of the skin that are not ordinarily exposed to sunlight. So if you don't expose them to the sunlight, you will get skin cancer. but if you overexpose it to the sunlight, you will get skin cancer. So you need to take care of them, like, yeah, some sun, but not a lot, but not even nothing of sun. We need to give sun to the skin so it can be beautiful. Well, we continue with our body. Now we're not in our skin, now we're more inside, in the bone, you know there's one problem that is very common in the older people, like, is the osteoporosis. Well, it literally means a condition of having porous bones. Bone is a living tissue which is constantly being absorbed and replaced. Osteoporosis occurs when the formation of a new bone doesn't keep up with the removal of old bone. It causes bones to become brittle and weak, so that even mild stresses like bending over or coughing can cause a fracture. Like, my finger got osteoporosis, and the bone inside, it gets like dots, and it like, if I just like do this, I will get a fracture in here because the bone is too weak and it's not as strength. So I couldn't do this because I will get a fracture. And this is an example. It's in my finger. What if we have it on the knee, on the legs? When we walk, when we couldn't run because we will get a fracture. So we need to take care of a lot of these two problems: skin cancer and osteoporosis. Well, but like, we can prevent this illness. Like, we can do exercise, eating good, because our muscles will, like, will get stronger, and we will not have these problems. We can use some lotions for the skin, and also, like, drinking milk is important for the bone, like, very important. So we need to stay healthy, so these two problems and a lot of other type of problems could not affect us. So this is most summary of what we saw in this month. Thank you for your attention.